Greetings everyone, welcome to Advance. This game was played in the Speed Chess Championship 2025 that happened a few days ago. With the white pieces, we have the Mad King Arjun Erigaisi facing off against Denis Lazavik, and this is going to be an epic game. So without further ado, let's start with this game here. Arjun starts with e4. We have c5 going for the Sicilian, so this is definitely going to be a fight. Knight to f3, knight to c6, and just e4. We have the open Sicilian on the board. C captures, knight to f6, and just knight to c3. We have immediate e5, and now we go into the Sveshnikov. Here just going for knight bd5. First to d6, and here just bishop to g5. Now just going for this a6, pushing the knight back, knight to a3, and just b5. Now going for this knight to d5, all main stuff. And now just preparing to castle and developing the bishop, bishop to e7, and here just bishop caps on f6, just sacrificing that bishop pair early on, as you do in these lines. We have bishop captures c3 now, and now just going for rook to b8. All of these lines are the standard moves in Sveshnikov. Most players know it, and Arjun would definitely know it. He's been playing this for a while. And we have knight to c2 and just bishop to g5. So just developing that bishop early on and not allowing the knight to capture it. So now in this position, there are a lot of moves you can play. You can go for g3 in this position, play bishop to h6 most likely, and after this bishop to e2, you play castles, knight c2 e3, you play g6, and maybe just preparation of this very nice f5 thrust. But in some lines, obviously, here just queen to d3 and immediately f5, and here after h4, now just going for king to g7, and here just rook to d1. We have f captures, queen captures, and finally just challenging that knight. Maybe you trade the knight, and maybe you trade everything. Most likely, if you trade, this knight jumps in, and yes, you will enjoy this semi-open rook file, while white will enjoy the center. So it's going to be a trade-off, but most likely this game with perfect play should be a draw. But obviously the Mad King, when you have the center, definitely going to try and go for a win. Oh, by the way, and this was a blitz game, so let's not let's not judge them for any of the moves that they play. You don't want to overanalyze the blitz game. He's just going for a4, challenging those queenside pawns. We have b captures, knight. Now just going for this knight to b4. We have knight caps on b4, knight captures, and he just going for bishop d7, developing that bishop, just finally going for that and capturing that pawn. Bishop caps on a6, and we have queen to a5. Now there could be some ideas of capturing that pawn, but right now the bishop and everything is under fire, so you have to first take care of that first. Or can you just capture it? Well, you can capture it, and that's what Arjun goes for. Arjun goes for queen captures on d6, and the thing is that now you have trouble castling. So what do you do in this position? Here rook to b6 was played, just challenging the queen's authority, and here just queen to d3 back. We have bishop to e6, and now just going for castles, and here just bishop to e7 was played. But now you could also castle in this position. I mean, your king is free, and there is no harm in it. So here just bishop to c4 most likely would have been played, rook to d8, and you play this bishop to d5, and after bishop captures, just going for this e captures, bishop to e7, and most likely what's going to follow up is most likely a queen to c2 move. Yes, you can capture it, but somewhere along the line you're going to have to give up the pawn that you just captured for free. I mean, nothing is free here in this position. If you over hold on to all of your prized possession in all of these pawns, your position might just become worse because you just don't develop the pieces where it's supposed to be, and you don't want that to happen. So here after castles, none of this was played. This calm bishop to e7 was played, castling was not played. Now just comes bishop to c4, all of those moves that I told you about, but playing in a different order. We have bishop caps on b4, now just going for c captures, queen captures now, and here just bishop caps on e6, finally trading off everything. It seems like the game is going towards a draw, but it's far from over now because the king is still in the center, and now you cannot castle. Here just f caps on e6 was played, and now Denis is going to have to be really careful, because the thing is that his king is still in the center, and if he makes even just a slightest bit of error, there could be serious consequence to it. And now here Arjun stops the castling, he goes for queen to f3. So you have to be a lot careful in this position. Does this work, or do you have to play something else? Well, the thing is that both players are now on 3 minutes or under 3 minutes, and that seems like such a natural move, and that's what was played. But the trouble is that move does not work. So I'm going to ask you to pause the video. I've already given you one hint that one move does not work. You find it out and try and find out the only move in this position that holds the game. Have at it. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is actually queen to f8, and that's the only move that works in this position. The trouble is here after queen to e3, because you don't want to capture the queen. If you trade queens, you lose all your advantage. Queen is the only active piece in your position, and the thing is that if you trade queens here, then the rook gets active, and the trouble is even if you capture this, you just capture this, game goes to a draw even though the double pawns exist. So you don't want to do that. So after this, you are attacking the rook needs to move, or you can just defend with the queen to d6, and after this queen to f3 again, queen to f8, queen to h5 check, maybe queen to f7, just asking for a trade, consecutively. And now if you go for queen caps on e5, finally just grabbing the double pawns, hey, just castles can be played, king is safe, most likely you can hold this. It's a troublesome thing, but the thing is that here even Arjun has to find a lot of accurate moves in this position to be able to try and go for a win. Yes, he's better, but pushing it to a win would be really, really difficult, because the thing is that you still have to get the rooks into the game somehow. You don't want to give up this pawn right now. Queen is currently guarding it, but still you have to be careful a little bit. And if you go for rook caps on a4 in this position, that could be played. You have an extra pawn. If you can hold on to it, most likely you will win the game. But it's a queen's end game. You have to understand, most likely if you're not able to find the accurate moves, which even top grandmasters cannot, as we saw in the last tournament in Sao Paulo, Brazil. They were Queen's Endgame, and yeah, they were not able to find the accurate ideas. It's very difficult to do in a Queen's Endgame, and honestly, in a blitz game, you cannot expect the players to even. But here after Queen to F3, we have Rook to F8, and now there is trouble mounting for Denis. Here in this position, Arjun finds the best move. If you want to pause the video, you can do it. I'm just going to show it to you right away. Queen to H5 is the move, and here Rook to F7 comes blocking, but just Queen caps on H7. So the trouble is, this was hanging. Now you've captured in, you went into your enemy king's territory, and you're just annihilating the king. And the trouble is, king to e7 was played in this position, but just queen to h4 comes, and your king is a very weak piece in this position. And here rook to f6 was played, but now just comes queen to g5, targeting this, and you cannot get out of all of these things. Here king to f7 was played, but now just comes queen caps on e5, and here king to g8, but just f3, rook to f8, and rook to f2 was played. Now just cementing every structure, not giving even a single room to your opponent to be able to try and infiltrate your position. You could have also gone for a move like h3 in this position, making some breathing room for your king, and after rook to b5, you play this queen to c3, queen captures, b captures. Even this endgame is now winning, because there is 4-2 against the king side, and there is no way you're surviving this. If you play rook to a5, trying to just still hold on to the position, it just king to f, rook to a3, king to f7, and here rook f to a1, rook f to a8, h4, g5, and the trouble is the position just completely falls apart. There is not much you can do. Even if you trade, and I trade, and even if you trade a pair of rooks here in this position, the endgame is still completely winning, because there is just so many pawns, 4 against 1. How do you hope to survive in this position? So hey, but that's why here rook to f2 was played. That's why here rook to f2 calm move was played, just waiting, because you always have h3 in your bank. Here rook to c8 was played, but finally going for h3. Now rook to c5, and here just queen to g3. Now just comes queen to d4 and king to h2, just defending the rook, and everything is now, well, no, nothing is hanging. You've just done a very nice job of keeping everything intact. And black king is still a little bit weak. Hey, just rook c to b5 was play, challenging those pawns, but now just comes a rook to c1, and we have rook caps on b2, finally grabbing that pawn. But the trouble is, now the game is completely winning, and here he goes for it. Arjun goes for the final strikes of the game. He goes for rook to c8 check. Hey, king to f7. We have rook to c7 check. King to g8. e5 now, and e5 is a beautiful move, cutting off the queen's defense. And now you are threatening checkmate. There is no way you could do anything in this position. And even after having time, it was on this move, on just move 37, that Denis Lazavik resigned the game, and Arjun got this spectacular victory, because whatever you just getting mated in 3 moves, as you can see with the engine bar right here. And those 3 moves are very pathetic. He can just sacrifice the queen. Queen caps on f4, g6, you play queen to f7, king to h8, and queen to h7 would be checkmate. So all of these moves, Dennis obviously realized it in an instant, because this was a beautiful move here, and Arjun got this spectacular victory. But I'm sorry to spoil the result for you, but Arjun could not do well in shorter time formats as he was supposed to do, and unfortunately he lost to Dennis 9-12. And Speeches Championship 2025 does not give you any more chances. It's a knockout event, so unfortunately Arjun Erigaisi is out of the event. But that's absolutely fine, because it was a very close encounter. Arjun had many chances to be able to win the game, but unfortunately at the very last moments he was not able to convert, and in time pressure he actually collapsed, and at the end he lost the game. But I guess it's for the better, maybe, because you have the World Cup coming up, and really you don't want to play a Speeches Championship in midst of the World Cup. That would be really annoying, playing from your hotel room, and not something you want to do. But still, it would have been good if he had qualified, but it's very difficult in Speeches Championship. The games could go either way, and both players know it, and Dennis got this, so kudos to him. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with some of these amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you very much for watching.